Hey there, listeners. This is Terry Cowley, your host of the R.M.Williams Outback podcast. Thanks so much for being here and welcome to Season 3. Hi there, thanks for joining me. Today we're kicking off a bit of a more of a crafty segment in connection with R.M.Williams, which of course owns the Outback magazine that I work for. And the first person to join me to talk about some of the things that go on behind the scenes at R.M.Williams is the team leader of craft, and his name is Chris Collins. Hello, Chris.
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm very well, thank you. And so you are in the R.M.Williams workshop, and I presume you're sitting in an office in the workshop there today.
Yes, I am at the moment, but usually I'm on the floor, so...
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that because this is a little bit different. I'm guessing you're not doing, this sort of thing that we're doing today every day. Describe sort of a normal day in your life in the workshop, because I understand that you run the combined belt line, which produces the beautiful dress belts and croc belts, absolute pieces of beauty in our stores. So tell me a little bit about, your day in the workshop normally.
So in the workshop, usually I start the day, I go and say hello to all my staff members and make them feel welcome for that day, and just try to get a little bit of communication with them, see how the day's going. And then throughout the day, I walk up and down the lines, actually checking the quality, making sure all the quality is at the RM's high standards.
So you've got more of a supervisory role now.
Yeah, it's more like a team leader kind of role. So our job's to keep everyone on time, check the quality, make sure everyone's got the right training, make sure the safety standards are a high quality as well, because we don't want people to get injured.
So what sort of machinery are you using on that line?
So we got a galley press. So that actually helps cut out the belts. It puts the holes in it, the buckle ends on, and it actually puts a stamp in the middle, so we know what style it is, what size it is. We also got directrons, where we actually sew on the buckles. And with the croc belts, they actually got a different process. They actually use a clicking press rather than the galley, because they got little lymph nodes. So they're like the hard bumps on top, because we use the croc tops and rather than the belly. And if we put them in through the galley, there's a risk that we could actually damage the knives on the galley. So we line them up carefully on a clicking press, and that's how they get cut out.
So how many people would you have working on the line?
At the moment, I've got roughly around 10 people on the line.
And do you have a target for how many belts you would like to produce in a day?
Yes, we got a certain target, because we're doing dress belts and croc belts. Our target's roughly around the 200 to 300 mark a day.
So that would be a bit lower than the other belt lines?
Yeah, so because we're a combined belt, the combine's actually two pieces of leather put together.
Okay.
So with the crocs, we usually have a yearling underling. So that's like a baby cow. And then we'll put the croc top and then glue in the middle, and we'll glue it from there.
Okay. So I was going to say a lot of the more standard belts that we would see, like the ones that we made for Outback, that's just one piece of leather. Yeah.
Yeah, one piece of leather. So that's called a veg tan, and it's a solid piece of hide. Where on my line we use a chrome tan as well. So chrome tan's where you would see more in your cars, like your leather seats and all that. So
is that for durability?
Yeah, and the chrome tan's actually a lot softer than the veg tan. So the veg tan seems to be a lot harder.
So with the croc belts, does it need to have that sort of yearling sort of, I guess, underlay to strengthen it?
Yeah, it's just as strong. So we've got special croc glue now.
But it's not like made out of croc or anything. Could you just call it?
Nah.
Just checking.
We're just a special name. It's just called croc glue, yeah.
Now, you've been at R.M.Williams, were you saying, for 13 years?
Yeah, for 13 years. So
how old are you now, Christopher?
I'm 36.
Okay, so most of your working life.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how you first came to know of R.M.Williams? You're an Adelaide boy, so you probably grew up knowing about the company.
Yeah, so my mate actually worked here. and his name's Matt Tate. So he's actually a supervisor in boots now. So I got the job through him. So I applied and I said I knew Matty. Then a couple weeks later, I got a phone call asking me to do a trial, and then after the trial, I started off in craft.
So you started in craft in the area that you're still in.
Yeah, I started in craft. Yeah,
Tell me about your first job in the R.M.Williams workshop.
my first job was on the solder line, and it was just pulling and burning the threads.
So explain that a bit more for a layperson. What do you really mean by that?
So on the buckle end, all right. So where we put the buckles and the loops on, all right, they get sewn on, and then you got the threads that's a little bit everywhere. So you got threads on the front and the back. Where the pulling and burning process, we actually pull the threads to the back, and then we snip it with some special snip. So we snip the thread, and then we use a Bunsen burner to burn it down.
The old Bunsen burner, eh? From school science days.
Yeah,
So that was mainly a lot of what you were doing initially.
yeah, that's when I was first started, and also I used to do the staining the edges as well on the belt. So we used to have actually three colours back in the day. So we actually had tan, we had the brown and black stain. So depending on the style of the belt and the colour of the belt, we used the different colours. But now we don't actually use the tan stain anymore. We only use the black and brown. So
The job that you were doing prior to this job, did you bring skills into the job, or did you really just sort of got trained up?
got trained up. So I was actually working in the hospitality industry first. So I was working with food and that. So it's a little bit different.
So were you really keen for a change?
Yeah, I was keen for a change. Like I just wanted basically a 9 to 5 job, but rather than having like rostered all different hours, come here and there and everywhere. So
And what was it you liked about working? You obviously did like it because you're still there. What was it? What was you liked about that kind of, I guess, really hands-on work?
just like the speed and the pace of it, like just jumping in, doing what you have to do, and go home at the end of the day. And some of the friendships I've formed with other staff members, so can't be replaced.
You describe what you did when you first came into the workshop. How long did you work in that area?
I've worked pretty much in solids for maybe around 11 years.
Can you explain solids?
So the solid belt is a solid piece of leather.
Just the one piece.
Yeah, it's just a one piece. So
So that's a different line to where you are now.
yes.
So tell me a bit about that, the solids line.
So basically, the solid, you get one solid piece of cow leather, and then it'll go through like the nippy machine where it actually gets cut out into the strips, and then from there it'll go through an edger. All right, basically edges down the sides and makes it a lot smoother. Otherwise, if we didn't do that, the jean, like the little loop on your jeans,
Yes.
they'll eventually wear out, and that's so we do that, and then it'll go in the galley, like I was saying before, and they'll cut it into the shape and put the sizes on and your holes, and then it'll go to the staining bench where we put them in lots of 30, and then we'll clamp it, and then we'll stain the edges, and then we'll go through the buckle end splitter. Well, they'll split down the buckle end to make it a lot softer, and then we can fold it over for the directions where we will stitch on the buckle and the loops. And then from there, I'll go to my first job, pulling and burning. And then after that's done, it'll go to the checkout table where they actually check the quality and they book the work out.
There's an incredible amount involved that people really probably most of us would not realise.
Yeah,
So were you involved in a lot of those different processes, or in particular some, or?
well, in the solder line, I actually learnt every single process. So I know how to basically do a belt from start to finish on the solid line.
And do you get that opportunity to actually do a belt from start to finish yourself?
Yeah, I've actually done some belts with the leadership team when they came over. And also we had some people come over from Britain where they could make their own belt. So I ran them through the process and they loved it. So
It's quite creative process, really, isn't it? Because you're going from this large piece of leather to producing something that's really beautiful and can be sold for quite a lot of money.
yeah, especially all around the world as well. So As you know, we're not just in Australia now; we're expanding. So it's an incredible feeling to see like your product go into different countries.
Yeah, and be worn by world leaders and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And of course, the belts are inextricably linked with the boot.
yeah,
You know, you for example, you wouldn't wear, well, I wouldn't, I don't know about you, black boots and a brown belt or vice versa.
yeah,
So obviously, you know, you sort of, what is being produced is very much what, you know, in tandem with what is being produced in the incredible boot workshop. And of course, R.M.Williams is best known for its boots. Did you ever want to work in boots or have that opportunity?
I've always really liked the craft atmosphere. It's a little bit different than boots.
Explain what you mean by that.
I've just formed like kind of a family atmosphere where in boots I think it might be a little bit rush paced.
What about the plaited belts? You do that work as well?
I've never actually tried that myself.
That's a whole nother art to itself, isn't it?
Yeah, they do look pretty good though, the plaid belts.
They do. They look amazing, but I think it's quite hard to get that perfect kind of like flatness with the belt.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess it's like anything, including what you do. It's trial and error, isn't it? You don't just walk in there knowing how to do it all. So you've just got to practice and practice and practice. And obviously, the training is quite good, and because there's always that quality control, isn't there?
yeah. So with the plaid belts, as you know, the kangaroo leather for its weight and size is actually one of the strongest leathers in the world. So they use between 14 to 16 strands to plait one belt. And we got team members that have been here for 35 years, still on strong, still plaiting every day.
Tell me a bit more about your team.
My team's actually a pretty well diverse team. So we got people from different cultures on it and they all adapt to work together. They always get the job done. So I've never really had any arguments with my team. So no, they're a pretty good team. So they're very positive.
What sort of people do you think are drawn to this kind of work?
I reckon like passionate people, people that love the brand and that. So they like see the brand or their fans or their mum and dad love the brand and then they actually want to join the team, you know. So if they see like a job vacancy going, they'll apply for it.
So tell me about your feelings about the brand or any association. I mean, you mentioned that you sort of got into the company because, you know, the idea of it because you knew somebody. But did you, as a kid, you would have known of the brand growing up?
So I was always aware of the brand, but I didn't know what products they made. And once I joined R.M.Williams. I seen the passion back then, and they were doing like whips, croc belts, and that. I said, "Oh, that's actually pretty cool." So
So I guess the whole kind of origin of the company is very much in the bush.
yeah,
People in the cities wearing R.M. Williams gear these days.
brand's actually expanding to the city more now than it was back when I first started.
You mentioned you went to Perth, I think that was last week. Can you tell me about that trip?
So I was actually making Christmas decorations, like a little snowflake, actually in the stores, and I was actually interacting with like the people coming in, and I was giving out Christmas decorations,
So what were they made of?
leather.
Stupid question, hey?
Yeah,
So snowflakes made of leather. How do you do that?
they got cut out on atom, and they had little pinholes in.
What do you mean? What's atom? Sorry.
Atom's like a massive cutting machine
Okay.
where we can cut like different designs and patterns out of leather.
So you just sort of put into the computer what?
Yeah, what you want to cut and it does it. And then we were hand stitching white cotton and that in the store. So done a cross stitch and yeah, it turned out pretty good. So everyone loved them.
Oh, you don't have one handy, do you?
Nah, not at the moment.
So this is something you did. I guess it's just kind of like bringing that craft alive in the store for customers.
Yeah, actually interacting with the customers as well gives us a chance to get in and tell our story as well, saying, hey, I actually work on the belts line and asking if they need a hand as well. So it was myself. We had Reese Cameron went to Melbourne and we had Belinda Moore go to Sydney and Paisley Myers went to Adelaide store. So
So different craftspeople.
yeah,
And how long were you there and how many snowflakes did you make?
I roughly made around 100 snowflakes over the 4 days that we were there. So
It's sort of funny though, isn't it? Because I know that the whole snow thing is very much associated with Christmas, but it's just funny in this hemisphere, isn't it? You know, where it's so hot.
yeah, so we actually had three different patterns. So we had the snowflake that we made in store. Then we had a eucalyptus leaf,
Ah,
and then we actually had a star as well.
that's more Australian.
Yeah, so
That's a very cool idea. Do you think that customers really appreciated knowing a bit about the craftspeople behind the brand?
yeah, I reckon they enjoyed it because when I was there, actually, the belts probably one of the best sellers. They were actually selling more belts than they were boots.
Okay. You didn't get the short straw at all, did you, going to Perth?
No, it's actually a massive store.
And had you been there before?
Nah, first time in Perth.
So you're seeing, firsthand the expansion of the brand in the city areas. But do you still think that that connection with the bush is really important for the brand?
I reckon it is because that's where the company actually started. It was a started in the bush. It's got that deep connection.
You don't have a lot of boots, surprisingly.
No, I got one pair, but I got a fair bit of belts though. So
I was going to ask you about that next. So if you've got only one pair, they must be pretty good. So what kind do you have?
I got the Craftsman boot, so Craftsman Comfort.
Yep. In chestnut,
Yes, chestnut.
of course. That's
Yeah,
the absolute classic, isn't it?
yeah. So I actually wore them to Perth. So I was outfitted in R.M.Williams gear, so I had the jeans and the shirt on as well, and my belt.
So you should have. And what belt were you wearing?
492.
What does that mean?
So basically, it's the dress belt on my line. So it's all stitched around as well, a nice longhorn buckle. So it's pretty mint.
So tell me about the belts that you own and why you own them. Like, I mean, we can take our recommendations from the belt maker as to which ones we should be buying.
So, like I said, I got the 492. So that's good for going out to the city, and that's more of a dress belt. So you can go to your pubs and clubs and wear that as well. Also for weddings. And then I got a 439. So the 439's a nice classic kind of belt with a silver buckle. And you wear them more like going around town, the country areas as well. It's normal work belt. And then I got a 583. So that's pretty similar to the 439, but it's got a silver and then it's got gold writing. So I wear that to go to like maybe going out to pubs or dinners or something like that. And then I got to have a classic croc belt, so I work it.
Of course.
And the croc belts just look pretty cool. So,
And when does the croc belt come out, Chris?
oh, the croc belts, special occasions, like if I need to go to a birthday party or a wedding or something, sometimes I take that out as well. So,
And are they all brown?
no, my croc belt's black.
And that must be a bit of a talking point, the croc belt.
Yeah, so it's just different, it's unique to the brand and that. So you don't actually find many other companies that actually use croc leather. So
Do you find people say to you, is that really crocodile?
yeah, is that real? Yeah. And I say, yeah, it's actually Australian saltwater crocodile. And they're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
They do use the crocodile leather for other craft items, don't they?
So we've made wallets in the past
Yeah,
and they also make boots out of them as well. But they use actually the croc belly where we use the croc tops.
I guess, yes, because the boots obviously have to be smoother, don't they?
Yeah. So it's one piece, a croc belt, and two pieces of leather for croc boots.
Just tell me a bit about your feelings about the company because you're obviously pretty happy there. And
Yeah, I reckon the company's looking at expanding, right? So we're going to get new people and that, but they're very passionate about keeping that quality as well. And they're always trying to raise the standard. So we actually want the quality to go up to a higher standard for like the customers out there. So they receive better goods. And we want to try to keep raising the standards.
what about the amount that you have to produce? Do you see that going up?
Yeah, I actually reckon it's going to grow. So I reckon we're going to start expanding our teams eventually as the brand expands.
Would you need another belt line to do that?
I reckon eventually we might.
So I guess it's a matter of finding those, not just the machinery and the training. It's about finding the people, isn't it? Finding the right people.
We actually got 4 sections. So we've got my line, that's the combined line. Then we obviously got the solids. And then we got the bags line as well. And then we got the plaited line. So that's where they do the plaited belts, like the kangaroo leather, and they do key rings and that as well. So
And have you found that with you working there so long, you've convinced all your friends and your family to really embrace the brand?
Yeah, they love it. They especially the boots.
Certainly the boots, and I'm sure the belts too, lasting many, many decades. And I guess that's a testament to that real attention to detail that you and your people have, and that, if I'm sure if one comes off the line and it's not good enough, it presumably it doesn't go out the door.
Even like if there's a little scratch, sometimes you'll go into the second store. That's the high quality standards that we're trying to reach at the moment.
Yeah, that's what people expect, I guess, because it's you're paying a decent amount, so you certainly do expect that high standard of quality, don't you?
Yeah,
Now, I was told that you were super passionate about quality, which we've talked about, but tell me about being super passionate about safety. What does that mean?
I love being like helping people out, trying to make a like safer community because I want you to go home the same way you'd come to work. So just trying to lift them standards so we don't have that many injuries.
So, how do you do that on a day to day basis?
I walk around and I actually noticed something that I don't like. I raise it into a special platform we've got here from the WHS team. It's called Beacon, where we can actually raise matters that we find on the workshop floor, and then we can assign it to people. So we can assign it to someone from maintenance, I can assign it to myself, and then it'll be up to them to actually fix the matter.
Okay, so it's there's always an opportunity to escalate a concern.
Yeah. And if that doesn't work, then we can always go see our managers. Our managers will get the job done.
And I would imagine there's quite a bit of training that you have to undergo to keep these skills up in terms of machinery use, even just any kind of equipment.
We do it pretty much. We go through people's training records, and we try to get it done every 6 months and get them retrained, even on the machines that they've used for 20 years. We still get them retrained, to keep them fresh, so
Yeah, I guess it's that when that complacency sets in, you can get that. That's a recipe for a possible injury, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I should let you get back to your actual job. I might finish up by asking you what R.M.Williams means to you.
It means a company that's very passionate about its people, all right, and it's quality of work, and also is trying to stay true to the outback.
Sounds pretty good, Chris. Your family must be very proud of you. You're reasonably young to have the kind of job that you do. All right, well, I'll let you go. Thank you so much, Chris. Just to recap, Chris is the team leader of craft in the R.M.Williams workshop in Adelaide. He's been there for 13 years, and by the sound of it, he's going to be there for quite a few more. Thank you so much, Chris, for your time, and I wish you all the best.
All right, thank you, Terry. Enjoy the rest of your day.